Well, the whipping is a matter for the chief whip, but I think there's a really strong argument for Brexiteers, for those that were nervous about no deal, to come together and vote for this deal, because it's win-win-win. It gives effect to the referendum. We take back control of our borders, our laws, our money. It allows us to do global free trade deals. It protects Northern Ireland. It's a cracking deal for Northern Irish business because they've got frictionless trade with the EU, but they also stay within the UK customs territory. And it's a good deal for the EU. So this is win-win-win. It allows the country to move on, and within the Conservative Party and right across the House of Commons, we're talking to Labour MPs and of course the DUP. I think there's a really strong case now for signing up to this deal, getting Brexit done and dusted, and allowing the country to move forward. The reality is, people said that the Prime Minister couldn't get this deal, couldn't get the changes. He has, and I think that's a reflection of his leadership. And of course, we're going to try and persuade and point out the real positives in this deal, on the substance, on the merits, and I'm confident that that will help bring people behind it. And obviously, it'll be a close vote tomorrow, but I'm confident we can get this done now.
Okay,
Well, our message to the DUP is we understand your concerns, but we argue they're dealt with. The UK, Northern Ireland stays within the UK customs territory. They also get seamless, frictionless access to the single market in the EU. It's a great deal for Northern Irish business. There's no infrastructure at the border, and there is a consent mechanism which allows by a majority in the Northern Ireland Assembly for the people right across all of the communities to consent to staying in the limited number of rules and regulations on agri-food and industrialised products that are required for that seamless access to the EU market. They'll have that democratic consent. There's a lock on it every 4 years. So I think those legitimate concerns have been dealt with, and it's time for all of us to come together to sign this deal and allow the country as a whole, one united kingdom, to move forward. We've been absolutely clear. There'll be no diminution of employment rights, social rights, environmental protections, and I think it's right that under this deal, elected members of Parliament, Labour and Conservatives, are accountable to their voters for these crucially important decisions. That's one of the great virtues of this deal. So I understand it's sensitive for them, particularly given the politics of this, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the right thing by our country, by our constituents, and be faithful to the promises we've made. The problem for those that want to vote against this deal is they've got no credible path forward. Some people want to cancel the referendum. I think that's undemocratic. There's clearly, from the EU side, not going to be any new deal done. They don't want any more delay. They're fatigued with this. So I think if you want to avoid no deal, the focus now should be on looking at the really strong positives from this deal, a deal no one said Boris Johnson could pull off, getting this done, and then the whole country, all of us, and all of your listeners and viewers at home can move on. And I think that's what most people want now. We're focused on Saturday. That's what's in front of us. We're confident we can get this deal through.
You're
it's a strong
deal.
Numbers. We're confident we can get this through. Ultimately, MPs will have to take their judgment call, but we can focus minds by showing that this is a good deal. It's better than what went before, gives effect to the referendum for those who campaign for Brexit. It avoids a no-deal Brexit, and it protects Northern Ireland. Allows us to turn the page. Allows us to turn the page with our EU friends and partners and get off the rancorous divorce bit of Brexit and onto the positive, the future relationship. And I think it will lift a cloud over our politics, because it will allow us to go on and talk about all those other things, the cost of living, schools, the NHS, more police on the streets, that most voters now want to see their politicians